Okay, perfect. Ready? Hujambo! My name is Zoe. I'm from Oakland, California. I'm majoring in biology, neuroscience, in the College of Integrative Sciences, and my language is Swahili. I first learned Swahili when I studied abroad in Kenya during my junior year, and we learned like the very basics of Swahili. And so I just thought it was amazing to learn a different language, something I'd never experienced or even heard before. And then when I came back to Wesleyan after my abroad experience, I learned that there was a Swahili option here with a Yale professor over Zoom. And I just thought it was an amazing way to stay connected to the culture back in Kenya and just continue my love of learning the new language. And I'm not usually a big language person, so I thought it was great. A very low stress way of like still being a part of the Kenya experience, but back at Wes and learning a language. My favorite word in Swahili is probably kuogelea, which means to swim, because I'm on the swim team here. And it was just the first verb I actually remembered and learned, and I just love to say it every time. And also kiboko, which means hippo in Swahili. It just seems really fun, and we would always shout kiboko when we'd see a hippo. My favorite part of studying abroad in Kenya was definitely the homestay day we did, where we got to spend a day with the mamas, the local mamas of the Maasai community. We cooked, we helped make fixes on their house, we milked cows and fed the other animals. And it was a great way to kind of implement the Swahili we had learned and learn some new words in Ma, which is the native language, not Swahili. And they taught me how to count to 10, which I thought was really cool. And just a fun way to like really integrate myself into the culture there. One of the hardest parts about learning Swahili for me was definitely, I've only ever learned Spanish before, like in a school environment, which also has a Latin base. And so I think Swahili just was a whole new realm of words and a different way of speaking entirely with different grammar. And so I definitely think learning the grammar was one of the hardest parts about learning the language to begin with. One of my favorite parts about learning Swahili at Wesleyan is that the class is really small. It's just me and one other girl who's a sophomore who's also interested in learning abroad and going to Kenya herself. And it's over Zoom with the Yale professor, and I just think we've really developed a great bond, the three of us, and we have a TA. And it's just such a fun little group and community where we can just talk about our lives and learn in a very, again, low stress environment, which makes it so welcoming and encouraging. In the future, I would love to get a PhD and continue doing work on conservation efforts in Africa and specifically in Kenya. I loved my study abroad experience there and would love to continue to go back there, continue to work on saving different animal species there, specifically like the lions and the large carnivores. And so having this language base in Swahili would allow me to connect more with the community, do community interviews there like I performed during my study abroad, and just have a connection to the culture that I wouldn't already have without this previous experience learning the language. Kwaheri!